Good afternoon, Adam here with another episode on my 150-gallon reef tank. A very long overdue episode, I'm aware. I haven't, I don't even know, it's been months now. And a lot of the reason I haven't really posted much anything is because the tank's doing really well. Not much, I think the most interesting part of the hobby is the troubleshooting. And right now, everything's just sort of ticking along, so not much to say as far as issues. Although I do have a couple things I will discuss, but they're sort of good issues rather than bad issues, because it means things are growing and doing well. So without further ado, let me switch lenses to the macro lens, and we can take a closer look at a couple of things going on in the tank. I wasn't sure if I'd shown off my new Acanthophilia, and of course, the one time I decided to break my camera out, he's looking a little sulky today, but he's sort of a green with a brown middle. Very, very cool coral. As you guys might know, they tend to be a bit on the pricey side, so I went with a more common color morph when I was up visiting a friend up north, because it was actually in a reasonable price range, and I'm not going to spend a small fortune on a coral as much as I really like these corals. I'm just going to do a quick walking tour from right to left on my tank, rather than try to highlight specific corals. I'm just going to sort of run through some of the corals that are doing well, which honestly they're all doing pretty well. Interestingly, I got these large pallies that are doing really well in this corner, so I left them alone. Decided that if they like it back there, that's their house. Yeah, it's just a big snail sitting in front of them. As you can tell, the elegance is doing great. I hear sort of horror stories, mixed opinions on how well these do in captivity. Mine's pretty much looked good since I originally got him. This is probably the area that's doing the best. Look at my Zoa rock, my Zoa garden. I know it's a little hard to tell because I'm zoomed in so far, but they are doing absolutely fantastic. They're everywhere. You can see I got a little bit of zenniae I need to cut off at some point, but I got some nice mix of colors now. It's starting to really all grow in well together, and it's pretty much doing exactly what I was hoping it would do, which is to fill in. Obviously, some of the colors of Zoas are growing a lot faster than the other ones, but that's okay. It's to be expected to some degree. Coming more towards the middle of the tank, this Platymontipora. It's interesting. The first piece I got was this bottom piece, which is fairly thick, all things considered. And then the new growth is all this really thin structure, which you can see it's actually chipping off where it gets caught too much in the current. So I'm not totally sure why it's getting such a different growth pattern. As you can tell, this is one of the two problem corals here. It's growing up the rock, heading towards this candy cane, and this green staghorn, green slimer, Acropora. So something to try to figure out. I mean, obviously, I sort of knew better when I put it here, but I thought it would look good here, which it does. I mean, not gonna say it doesn't look good here, but it could be a problem in the future as far as overgrowing these other corals. You can tell I'm finally getting some growth. See a little new nub there on this acro. If you look in the back here, it's right on the back bottom. Some new growth as well. So I may finally decide to start doing something. This torch coral, he's twice as big as when I got him. And I'm getting some decent growth on the Duncan. There's, I guess, 5 or 6 heads now. I got it with 1. And this other acro is actually colored back up. He was looking pretty rough there. Excuse me, move clownfish. He was looking pretty rough there for a while. He lost most of his purple, but he's got his purple back. You can see him starting to encrust more along the base. He hasn't really grown upward, but he's definitely put in some new polyps. I know he's relatively happy. Green Passophora up top is massive compared to how I got him. I mean, it's a little harder to tell with this angle. Let's see if we can get a better angle. Oh, wrong way. He's a beast. growing like crazy. And a couple of the last ones, I have a couple LPS. I got this Bowder Banky. Start off with just the one head in the middle. Got these, let's see if I can get it good. There we go. Two new growing on the side. I was a little concerned about the torch being so close to them, but I haven't noticed any stings on this right-hand side yet. Bird's nest is also growing well. And here's sort of the biggest issue I'm concerned with over here, is if you see this Montipora and bird's nest are pretty close together now. This Montipora is just growing, ridiculously fast. And they're starting to encroach on each other's space. And obviously you can't really get this Montipora off. So it's, I guess, a hazard of sort of growing having these more encrusting corals is I've potentially created a long-term issue here. If you guys have any suggestions about how to deal with this other than, chiseling it off, which is not a great idea because, it's just going to grow back. Happy to hear any suggestions. But, like I said, it's a good problem to have. It means everything's growing. But I had a little bit of chemical warfare between the two. I broke off a piece here. Trying to deal with it. But the Montipora was definitely winning. I like my bird's nest, and I don't really want to move it, so I'm going to have to figure out something to do with that. A couple of corals I hadn't touched on yet is this Alveopora I got somewhat recently. Very, very happy. Not a whole lot of color to it. It's sort of this lightish blue. But, it's just a neat little coral. And it's been doing really well right here in front, so I'm just going to leave them alone. And obviously the fuzzy mushrooms, I've given one away, and they're still growing like weeds. Got a mountain of them back here. Probably going to have to give another one or two of them away at some point. They're a little out of hand. And I don't spend a lot of time talking about the fish, but all the fish over in here before are still in here. There goes the lawnmower blunting, the sailfin. This guy's still my favorite. I love the fox face. Argus wrasse, where is he? Right here. He is growing like crazy. I think he's got to be close to full size now. He's a huge bully. He hasn't really hurt anybody yet, but he definitely knows he's in charge of the tank. Nobody else really has a chance to compete with him. The Melanaris wrasse, who's somewhere around over here too. They're both Halcoris wrasses, but they haven't really fussed with each other too much. The Melanaris is still juvenile, you can tell with the tail spots. So he, as long as I feed enough, I don't really have any problems. Clownfish are doing well, and I actually have 3 new fish downstairs. I have a 40-gallon quarantine tank in the basement, and I have 2 different wrasses. One's a McCoskers, another one's a red stripe, red nose, something like that. It's another fairy wrasse. And then I have an actual mature adult diamond goby who looks healthy. I got a juvenile before and he didn't do well, so I ordered an adult one this time. Hopefully, in the hopes that he survives the quarantine process a little bit better, a little more hardy than the juveniles. So they went in about a week ago, so they got at least another 2 weeks down there. Oh yeah, one last squirrel. Got this green torch, who, it's sort of a solid green. It's not dragon silver or anything. Still very pretty. I really like it. I haven't decided where he's going permanently yet. I sort of got him in this back little corner back here. He looks happy right there, so he may just be back there for a bit. Well, that's sort of all I have today. Just wanted to, I know some people watch, but this is mostly for my own edification to keep sort of a log of how this tank's doing, the progression. I've gone back and looked at the first couple episodes. I just sort of remind myself how far it's come in a year, and it's been really fun to watch, really fun to work on, and I may be getting some new equipment soon, which I'll share if I end up ordering it, an Apex and perhaps a Trident as well to do some more automated testing. Alright everybody, thanks for watching.